From a price on his head to head of state, President Trump welcoming Syrian leader Ahmed al-Sharaa to the White House today, a man who once had a $10 million bounty on his head for ties to al-Qaeda. Al-Sharaa is even designated a terrorist by the U.S. in 2013, a list he's since been removed from. Now the president is welcoming the leader to Washington months after an uprising toppled longtime dictator there in Syria, Bashar al-Assad. Let's bring in our White House correspondent, Karen Travers, along with foreign correspondent Marcus Moore. So, Karen, how significant is this visit? And what is President Trump hoping to accomplish here?
Kira, it's a historic visit, the first time a Syrian leader has been here to the White House. And it comes after the president met with al-Sharaa back in May in Saudi Arabia. That was a meeting that, of course, marked the first time that a U.S. president had engaged with a Syrian leader since the year 2000. So that in and of itself was also historic. This is significant, though, when you look at how al-Sharaa has come to this position, leading that rebel force that overthrew the Assad regime back in December, and then taking over as the leader in that country. He is here today to push for a full repeal of U.S. sanctions on his country. The president had waived those sanctions back in May. Great fanfare on that trip to the Middle East. He said it was one of the biggest applause lines he got on that trip to the Middle East. And now, though, it will take an act of Congress, though, to permanently lift the sanctions. So al-Sharaa is here to make his case on that. Notably, Kira, this meeting is taking place behind closed doors. Closed to the press. We haven't had a chance to see the two leaders together or ask questions of them.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if you will have the opportunity to ask questions from both of them. We want to be there for sure. Marcus, tell us more about al-Sharaa. This is a man who was once designated a terrorist by the United States, now shaking hands with the president at the White House.
Yeah, Kira, it really is a remarkable turn of events, and there's a lot of mystery surrounding his early life. Journalists and investigators have tried to piece a lot of that together, and in particular, to learn how strongly he has held Islamist views. As you know, he was part of al-Qaeda, and he fought the U.S. in Iraq, as Karen said there, and he also had a relationship with Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the former leader of ISIS. And so he really has gone from being one of the main enemies of the U.S. To someone that the president has praised as strong. And so we'll wait to see exactly how he will continue to govern Syria. But as Karen just alluded to, one of his main goals is to try to rebuild the country after some 14 years of civil war. And certainly that makes this meeting that he's having with President Trump critical.
Well, Karen, Trump and al-Sharaa first met in May in Saudi, and at the time, Trump described him as a young, attractive guy. I don't think we can forget that quote. This is just another example of the White House's diplomatic inroads with Arabic countries.
Yeah, it's about Syria, as Marcus just noted there, and this is the administration looking to help that country with reconstruction and rebuilding. But Kira, the steps the president had announced in May with the lifting of sanctions on Syria were really driven in large part by the other countries in the region that were putting pressure on the president and really making an appeal for him to do this. He said that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, was a big driver of that, and that he was pleased to announce it while he was in Riyadh. And as I said, this was a very big applause line for the president. There was a lot of approval of this when the president announced he would be taking this step to help Syria as they move forward with reconstruction. It's going to be very expensive. It's going to be very time consuming, and a lot of questions about who will take the lead and help on that and what the United States might contribute to it. But the president has had positive words recently for the Syrian leader, saying he's done a good job and that Syria has made important steps recently.
We're going to follow the meeting and whatever we can get from it for sure. Karen Travers, Marcus Moore, thank you.